Good morning. I'm Marilee Rosine Beasley, and I'm getting ready for the holidays. And one of the things I like to do is create unique, inexpensive gifts for myself, for my Christmas tree, and for friends and family. So I'm going to show you some things that are new. All right. Well, recently I was at a Dollar Tree in my neighborhood, and I discovered that they are selling these kind of ornaments, and you can take the top off and fill it with something. Now, I have seen and bought in the past boxes of round ornaments that you could fill, and I've done that before. These are a little bit easier to work with because they have a wider spout. Also, they had a couple of other styles. Here is a style that's even easier. And what you could do is, it has the wider spout. You could put a little piece of cardboard down here, put some little tiny miniature snowmen, things like that. And I have some, like here's a little Santa that I have. And what I would do is maybe cut a little piece of cardboard, glue it here, then let it dry, then put a little bit of glitter and fake snow right there. Take the glue, and what I would do is something like this, where I would, and you could even skip the cardboard if you want. That's also another, that may even be easier, but something. Now, the glue that I really like is this, and I used to buy it at Hobby Lobby. Sometimes I do. They also sell this at Dollar Tree. They may sell it at other dollar stores. One of the things that I would consider is using a paintbrush, because if you wanted to do something with this ornament, you might want to use your paintbrush with the glue. And now I recommend that you take this glue, you make it thinner so it's easier to work with, and then you sprinkle your snow and some glitter, and kind of let it, sprinkle it and get it to where it's the way you want it. All right, now this is a very easy little thing to do with children. I think you could do it with maybe a 3-year-old with guidance. So this is just an idea. This one I think would be a little more challenging because the opening's not quite as big. Now, I like to collect little things that I might be able to use. And usually I find at Christmas time, I find a lot of small little things at Hobby Lobby, at Michael's. I was at H-E-B last night, and I found these, and these are probably meant for a small miniature Christmas tree. But when I saw them, I saw the potential for using these in other ways. Like, for instance, they could be used in this. Maybe if I took tweezers, I could build the bottom up here and perhaps do something with it. Or another thing I could do, because this has a little gold string, is maybe I would hang it from the top. I might figure out how to make this longer. It appears, if you look at the back, this is actually has quite a bit of length there. So that might be something to consider, is catching this and making sure glue, and then maybe figure out a way to make sure it's anchored, and let it hang from the top, and then have the snow down on the sides and on the bottom. Okay, so that's an idea. Now I want to explain something that I did that I thought about. I buy a lot of cinnamon from Dollar Tree. So after I was finished with the container, then I washed it out, let it dry, and then I put some of this fake snow, and I bought it at Dollar Tree and at Hobby Lobby. Now, they don't sell it all year round at Hobby Lobbies. It's a seasonal item, and also at Dollar Tree. Now, what I did to make this easier is we used a little bit of a funnel to take it from the package. But anyway, if you go slowly, you can get this in here. And the nice thing about this container is it has holes on one side. The other side is just open. So it's like this. Okay, now, all right, so anyway, what we can do, and what I do when I'm working with things like this glitter, is I have it over something like a paper plate, and then then whatever's left over, I can reuse, and then do it again and again. Now, last year, or several months ago, I showed how I had taken pine cones, and I took some of the glue, and I put the glue on the pine cones, and then took this and just let it fall down, and it was a very quick and easy ornament. These are real pine cones. That's the branch that they were on, and I did others. Now, the other day I had a couple of friends over here, and the youngest one took a pine cone. She painted it all red, and it was the shape of a Christmas tree. She painted it red, and while it was wet, she took this and covered it, and it was really beautiful. It would be fun to see that also in green, and just it would look like you were in the forest. And so that's an item that a younger child could do easily, and I think it would be quite dramatic to see the change in the pine cone with the green and then the glitter, that it would look like snow. All right, so anyway, I'm just showing you some easy things. This is the package. It was all white. It's got a little bit of the brown glitter in it now. I did buy that at a Dollar Tree. I do have some that I got at Hobby Lobby. All right, and here's some of the other little miniature things that I've bought over time. Here's just a little, looks like a little maybe snowman, so a package of snowmen. So if you look around, you can see different things. And then if you do 2 or 3 at Christmas time, they don't go bad. All right, so I'm going to show you some other things, some ideas. I have some friends that have magnolia trees, and I have done this before where I've taken some gold acrylic paint, just taken a big foam brush, quickly brush those, and I think that several of these in a bowl or something, a glass thing, that a big glass vase would be very stunning. So anyway, that's something that could be easy and very stunning. Now, another thing that I've shown before is these are the seed pods from the magnolia tree, and this could be done in a couple of ways. Maybe a little bit of gold, and then sprinkle just a little touch of gold, sprinkle with some of the glitter and the fake snow, and like first let it dry, and then put a little bit of glue on the tips, and then sprinkle it just like I did for the pine cones, and then put a little bow right here, and then you would have a very quick, interesting ornament for your tree. So those are some just easy ideas that somebody could do. These are off the ground. That means they're free. And I had a friend that had several, so it was a win for her and a win for me. This is the funnel that I use. You could also use just a piece of paper to help you get that in there. All right, so that's just an idea. Now, this is a container that I bought. It says Merry Bright. There's a red lid to it. And this is a nice deep container that if you wanted to, you could put some items into it and maybe give it as a kit. So you could put in what some snow, some glitter, some glue, maybe a few leaves, some paint, and give that away. And that would be something that would be, you have the container, and then you have the items in here. And I just, different things. I also I looked through some things I had. This one says it's some kind of art glitter, maybe that's the company, designer. It dries clear and it's some kind of adhesive. So there's a lot of really great products that are out there that you could probably get at Hobby Lobby or Michael's, or maybe order online. All right, so I have another couple of ideas I want to share that have to do with some possible presents that aren't very expensive or very complicated. I like to buy seeds, and I found a lot of them for $1 at Dollar Tree. Now, this time of year, these packages are probably gone, but you can probably go to some place like Lowe's or Home Depot, and they may have packages of seeds that you could buy, and you could put these into a little bag of some sort, little Christmas bag or whatever. And this could be a gift for somebody that you think might be willing to grow or would be happy to grow some flowers. So anyway, that's just an idea. Another idea that I have is I do a lot of cuttings. And this is a plant that's very common around here. This is, I've been told around here, the name is Wandering Jew, and they're very easy to start roots. And this is something, I happened to buy this container at Dollar Tree, but I've had other containers that were just left over from something else. And there's still plenty of time for somebody to root some of these and create more plants. And I have lots and lots of plants, and they're in jars and other containers. So that's something that's not very expensive, and it's pretty easy to do. And I think live plants are always a great addition to somebody, and these are very easy to care for. Basically what I do is I make sure every so many days I get fresh water in here, and I trim and make sure that if there's any leaves that are starting to fall down or whatever, that I clear them out. Okay, so that's just an easy thing. Okay, so something else I want to share. I travel a lot, and I brought this doll back, and I think this doll is from Hungary. And I didn't buy the doll because it was red, or red. I noticed red and green. I just bought it because I liked the doll. But I will look at things that I have, and then I will take the doll or whatever the item is and say, well, that could be something for Christmas because I like the red and the green. So anyway, that's just an idea that you look through what you already have. I also went to Mexico when I was a child, and we brought back a little doll, and the doll has a red skirt, and I think there's maybe some green, and I have that tucked away. And at Christmas, I usually get that doll out and put it on my tree, and that's a Christmas ornament. And it just reminds me of that trip. Now, I did buy this the other day at Dollar Tree, and this I would not try to make because I think for $1, there's a lot of detail. It even has, this little Santa has little eyeglasses. So anyway, I bought several of those. Now, I did see this, and I really liked it. This could be something somebody could make for $1. I think it's just fine to go ahead and buy a few. It happens that there's Scottish heritage in the family. So one year I started looking for ornaments that had some kind of plaid because of the Scottish heritage. And so I did a tree with several items that had some kind of plaid in them. So I was really attracted to these this year. Something else that I want to share that I do is I like to buy cards from Dollar Tree. They're 2 for $1. And they happen to have different cards for different occasions. This one was in honor of Veterans Day. And then since we had Thanksgiving the other day, I bought several of these. And I did buy some extras with the idea that I would send them out. And so these, and what I will do is I will line them up across place so everybody can see the cards. Anyway, that's something that I often do. Now, it happens that Hanukkah is coming, and they have Hanukkah cards. So I got several Hanukkah cards. I do have Jewish ancestry, so a couple of years ago when that was confirmed, I started reviewing and learning more about the holidays that are related to being Jewish. So I bought these just the other day. I will send some of these out. And here's another one. So I just like to buy cards for different occasions, and then I can save them for next year or maybe give some away. I also sometimes buy blank cards. And so what I did, I have more cards here. This is a blank card, and I just liked the scene. This is a blank card also, and I have a place near here that's called Camp Hope. It's a camp that is for veterans who are suffering from PTSD. So I go over there occasionally, and one of the things that I actually like to do for them is to give them a gift card, and then they can decide to Dollar Tree, because it's there's one very near here. There's a couple near here. So that way they can go over there and pick out what they really need off their wish list. And they do have a wish list. And here's another blank card that I got that I just liked. I liked the card. And then here are some cards that are other cards. This is for another holiday, and Rosh Hashanah. Here is some more. And here is another Hanukkah card that I got. Here's another Veterans Day card. And like I said, sometimes what I do, instead of just lining them up, I will put them in something like this. Here's another Veterans card, America's Grateful. And so this is a way that I can look at these, and then also I will usually get extras and send them on. All right, now Hanukkah is coming. This year it's December the 10th through December the 18th. Last night when I was at HEB, I bought Hanukkah cookie cutters. So I will make some cookies at some point. And anyway, I went ahead and got the cutters. Last year, I think it was, after the holidays, I noticed this, and this is the menorah. So I got 2 of those and hung. I can now hang that on my tree as a reminder of that situation. You can tell that I love to honor a lot of holidays. All right, now this is something that I've had up all year round. This is a Hallmark card. It is called The Day Before Christmas by Edward Willis Redfield, Philadelphia Museum of Art, given by the Art Club of Philadelphia. And I really liked that. And somebody sent that. I'm not even sure. I can't even completely recognize the signature, but it says, "Wishing you at the quiet beauty of this peaceful Christmas season." And I just liked the art. So I've had it in a bookcase in my family room for many months, and I have it sitting where it's like right on top of some books. And so now I have a little piece of art from a Christmas card, and this is a painting that is hanging, that apparently is in Philadelphia or has been. All right, so I'm just showing you some ideas. I do this quite a bit, where I'll find something I really like and then put it in this black thing. And I probably got this at Hobby Lobby, but they sell them at Michael's and probably all kinds of frame shops. All right, so anyway, that's just some ideas about that. And I'm going to, they come in different sizes, so I use those quite a bit. Just to let you know, I like to go to Dollar Tree. We have one in my neighborhood and 3 others nearby. Now, some things in Dollar Tree are seasonal. I found this. They sell a lot of books for $1, and I got this, and it has recipes and some stories about the holidays, and I can even see that they have decorated some packages with plain brown paper, and they've got a cord with red and white, which would be very inexpensive and simple to do. So anyway, I liked that, and I thought that for $1, it would be pretty remarkable. Now, here is another book that I recently purchased at Dollar Tree. It was $1. It has fascinating stories by this person whose last name is Selby. And what he did is he's got stories of different people that are in the food industry. They're like maybe chefs, and just fascinating pictures of where they work and what they do. And like this is called Blue Bottle Coffee, and how this man got started, what inspired him. And so there's a lot of amazing information in this book. Now, I just got the book maybe a week ago, so I've only started reviewing it, but the pictures in here are just outstanding. And so they're just amazing. So anyway, just so far, I've been fascinated by that book. I want to show you something else. Okay, so this is something that I bought many, many years ago. It's a Christmas item. Now, right now, I have it filled, which is candy that's in red packaging. Sometimes I will put a bow up here. Anyway, I look at the color, and the color is remarkable, so it looks very Christmassy. So that's an idea, is that you can fill your candy dishes, and you can fill them with things that look, this isn't really Christmas candy, but it does have that Christmas look. Also, one thing I like to do at Christmas is take these items that I have every day use, and put a little bow on them so that makes it look more festive. And now also, I just want to show you that we have a restaurant in the neighborhood that is a Chinese buffet, and sometimes I'll order or I'll eat some of the mussels, and then I save the shells, and those can be something else. They could be an art project. They could, if I wanted to, I could crush them up, and they could be, in something, just totally something different. Something else I want to mention is during the holidays, I've done this before, where I was singing in a choir, and they have a group that they like to sing carols to at Christmas time that are kind of homeless, but maybe they're, transitioning out. Well, anyway, so one year I brought I got big, extra large Ziploc bags, and I put items in there that were, some of them had never thought about some of the things I put in. One of the things I put in was a big black contractor bag. I like to buy a lot of those. Now, in this particular bag, what I have is I have some sunglasses. I have things like a nice bar of soap, Yardley, toothpaste, some Band-Aids, cough drops. These are all things that are sold at Dollar Tree. I have one of those. There's a brush, a flashlight. Then also, I thought about this. Here's some sunscreen. They sell vinegar at Dollar Tree, and this comes in a plastic bottle. And I thought, vinegar is good as a disinfectant. So that could be very useful. Some people drink a little bit of vinegar occasionally, for whatever reason. I also put I had some pins, and so I put a blue, a red, and a black pin in there. So these are just some ideas that if you wanted to do some packages for a few homeless people that might need a little extra help. I also, at Dollar Tree, they sell these little manicure sets for $1. So I put one of those in there. All right, so moving along here a little bit further, I have mentioned before and shown how to take something like this, and you don't have to do this, but this was left over from a cake. I washed it carefully, got as much of it off as I could, and now what I can do is take some glue and sprinkle some of that fake snow in the glitter, and then I can create some little scene, and then I have this left over from something else, and maybe I'll put a few little figurines on here, just something, and this could be a project that a young child could do and have fun. So I just like to, think of what else I can do with something. Now, this is something that years and years ago, this is 1972, it's written on the back. This person was 2 years old, and what I did one year is I took a lot of these and we used a Xerox machine, this was several years ago, and made this small enough to go inside of a little ornament, and you can get those at places like Michael's or Hobby Lobby. I got several at Hobby Lobby, different styles, and put them inside, and you hang them on a tree. So I did several of those, and that could be something you could do as a gift for a family member or whatever you want to do. Now, these are some books that I buy at Dollar Tree. I've mentioned some of these before. Just want to remind everybody that you might want to look at mocktails, and this is Mocktails and Made Simple. Sometimes people get a little carried away with drinking alcohol during the holidays, so this would be something that would be a way to, make it less alcohol. I don't tend to serve alcohol to people I don't know, and I certainly don't serve a lot. This is a book that I have seen at Dollar Tree, and I've bought one or two of these, and it just has cooking for kids, and it's made simple, and it's got ideas, and this could be something an older child could do also. I got this at Dollar Tree, Robert Kennedy, Ripples of Hope. I started reading that, and it was actually, Robert Kennedy had a lot of inspiring ideas, and of course he tragically was killed. I have bought this I bought at Dollar Tree, and I'm reading it, reading the Bible in Spanish. I want to keep my Spanish skills up. This is another book I bought at Dollar Tree, Living Out Loud, and this gentleman had cancer, and so he's telling his story, and so that's just something I saw. This is another book I saw recently, Dinner at Your Door, and it's where what you do is you get with friends or neighbors, and you all do a dinner a week for everybody that's in your group, and I just thought it had great ideas about how to get something like that started. I've read about this idea before, but anyway, that was like in a magazine, but this was a whole book. Now, I want to share these things, these coasters. It just so happens that my dad lived on a dairy farm till he was about 12 or 13, and several years ago, somebody in my family was able to get some of the old photographs, and they made coasters for me and my siblings. So anyway, now that people are doing this kind of thing more easily, this is something that somebody might think about doing. Also, I wanted to share another book that I think is another one that I thought was excellent from Dollar Tree. It's called The Beautiful Smoothie Bowl. And this book talks about a lot of amazing food. They basically have a list at the beginning of the book And I have to admit, there were some items I wasn't familiar with, but they've got blueberries and carrots and cherries and coconut, just all kinds of things. And it's in alphabetical order what they have. They have recipes, green tea, I would call, and kale, honey, just nuts, just mango, everything you can imagine. And what the idea is that you will take a few items, maybe use a blender, or chop it up, and mix these items together, and you're really eating healthy food. And this has lots of recipes or ideas in here, lots of pictures. So I'm going to try some of these. I am a big fan already of using a blender to make smoothies. So it's kind of like, and to me in a way, it's sort of doing the advanced smoothie idea. This is another book that I got at Dollar Tree, and the author of this book talks a little bit about how you could do some things, easily grow some herbs. And one thing that I have been looking at is maybe sprouting some mung beans. And so I did a little bit of research. One person writing on the internet talked about rinsing the mung beans 2 or 3 times, using filtered water if you can, and then making sure the way that he did it is he put these mung beans in a cheesecloth and let them sprout. And he did recommend using fresh mung beans. He said older ones are harder to sprout. And that's a way that people can get some of the nutrition. It's not a very complicated thing to do. We can probably get mung beans pretty inexpensively at different stores. Okay, now, another thing that I want to show is this book. And I may have shown it before. Every Day's a Holiday. I got this at Dollar Tree, and it's just lots of great ideas that you can do with kids, or you don't have to have kids. Just interesting, fun ideas all year long. So this is just another book. I actually found a couple of other copies, which I gave away. All right, now, I want to show some other things that were some ideas that might be helpful. This year, I was thinking several months ago about buying some red coffee cups for Christmas. Well, I was at Dollar Tree, and you could probably find these at somewhere else, and I saw these, and I was going to get a lot of these, put something in there and put a bow on it. Then I saw these, and I thought these were even better, so because they're bigger. So I just want to mention that could be an idea for a Christmas present. Now, last year, or the year before, I bought these for myself at Dollar Tree, and that was a Christmas present to myself. All right, so another thing, I noticed these the other night, and I thought, well, that could be for me, or it could be for somebody else. Those are very useful, and so that's an idea. Now, another thing that I want to mention is this is a plain white plate from Dollar Tree. I have a few of these, but I thought this could be something that if you're bringing some cookies or you're bringing some pumpkin bread, cranberry bread to a gathering, you could put them on a dish, and you could give this to the hostess, and then you could say, just keep the plate, or pass it on to somebody else. And I think that's, that just hit me that this could be very useful. All right, now, I want to show some ideas for creating some gifts, and these would be more for young people. But taking another big Ziploc bag, and if you buy several of these you get several in a box, you could put different things in a bag and create a kit. And here are some different kinds of stickers. Here's some colored pencils. There's also some other things, pastels in there. I included some pens. There's a red, a blue, and a black pen. Then I also have different colors of cardstock in the Ziploc bag. And here's some stickers. So you just pick out stickers that are the appropriate age, and then you can go from there. All right, so here's some more of the cardstock, and I have lots of different colors. I just pulled these out, so that's an idea. Something that I like to do is I like to take containers and use them for something else. So in this case, this is things that were 4th of July, or it could be any time that you're doing something with red, white, and blue. These are left over. I have others. Here's some stars I got. And here's a little lights that they do need a battery. But anyway, this is a container I recycled. This has nuts in it, and when I'm done with the nuts, I will wash it out, make sure it's dry, and that will be something I can use for something else. I've got one of these that has paint brushes sticking up out of the top, and that's very handy. Something else that I want to show that I had these and they got broken. And instead of throwing them away, I looked at them, and it's a smaller glass like this, and I decided that what I could do was I could create a bow, and I've got bows that are about this size ribbon, and I could take a little bit of, there's tape that is sticky on both sides, and so I could just stick that, and then whatever I want to create, and it happens that I have these little Father Christmas figurines, and I just have 3 of them, and so I made a bow and put something inside. During the spring, I will take the red bow off, and I'll take a yellow bow. I have yellow bows, and then I have items like bunnies, and then I can, in springtime, I can put the yellow bow on. And so anyway, it's something that I can do, if I could do it for other holidays, but anyway, I tend to just do spring and the Christmas time. All right, so anyway, I want to tell you a little bit more about what I'm going to be doing this Christmas. I'm also want to encourage everybody to think about making and creating a monogram. That used to be more common. There's a book that Reese Witherspoon wrote called Whiskey in a Teacup. And that book, she talks about doing different things. I actually bought this at Buc-ee's. This has been a fascinating book. She was born in New Orleans. Her mother was a professor of nursing. Her father was a surgeon, or is a surgeon. I think her mother's retired. So she grew up in Nashville, Tennessee. I believe she lives in California now. And throughout the book, she has a lot of recipes. She talks about entertaining and family and just different things. She even apparently had a farm for a little while. But one of the things that I really loved was she talks about monogramming, because and that used to be much more common to do things with monogram. I used to do that myself. This book is just full of ideas, and she has a chapter called "If It's Not Moving, Monogram It," and she has pictures that show like pillowcases. I believe that she also, here's a hand towel with a letter on it. She also has some silverware, stationery, which I personally have done before. And I'm thinking this is something that would really be great to do again. So I'm thinking about doing that for this holiday season. All right, so something that I want to share is I have some charities that I like to contribute to. This coming Tuesday is what I believe is called Giving Tuesday, although I don't think that we should consider just giving this coming Tuesday. But locally, I do like to give to Camp Hope, and one of the things I like to do is give them gift cards, because there is a Dollar Tree in very near to where they stay. So some of the places that I'm going to be considering are, there's some colleges that I went to, and my father has a scholarship that was was in my grandfather's name, and now my dad's and my mother's name's been added to it. So I'll be contributing probably to something like that. Then also, I have a very good friend, and he's a vet. He also is very helpful, does things for Camp Hope, and he's supporting one of these groups, and I think it's called Wheelchairs for Warriors. There's also another group called Heifer International. I'll be giving a little bit of money to them, and what they do, their concept is they help other people in countries start, like they'll help them get started with some chickens, doing maybe some goats, depending, and maybe even a cow, depending on what country they're in and what makes sense for them. I also have been involved in the past in what's called Living Water International out of, it's in the greater Houston area. They used to have galas. I think this year probably was a virtual gala. Another group that I'm interested in is called Elijah Rising, and they work with women who've been kidnapped through human trafficking, and that's something, a local group also. So those are the kinds of groups that I'll be contributing to, and I want to encourage everybody to do their best to think of a group that somehow they could help. Some of the things I do for Camp Hope doesn't even involve money. From time to time they need firewood, so I've been able to get bundles of sticks that are by the curb and put them in the back of my truck and drive them over there. So that didn't really cost a lot of money, and just a little tiny bit of gas to drive there, but they're not too far away. So I just want to remind everybody that this is a season with a lot of holidays. For me, we just had Thanksgiving. I'll be doing something about Hanukkah, which is December 10th through December 18th. And then also there'll be Christmas coming. That in the United States is celebrated December 25th. Also, we're near in Texas. We're obviously near Mexico, and we have Feliz Navidad. So there will be Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. Then also one thing that I like to do is celebrate the Epiphany, which is a very common thing to do in Europe. And that will be around January 6th, 7th. And so I will honor that also, and that is honoring the bringing of the gifts to the Christ child. So these are just some ideas that I hope I've been able to share. They're somewhat inexpensive. Some of them are just putting kits together. I think that children love to make things, do things. So instead of buying them just a regular toy, you might consider something like a kit. And it can be something as simple as some stickers, a little bit of paint, glue, some pens, pencils, and some cardstock. You don't have to spend a lot of money. Maybe you initially you buy some cardstock and then give it to several children. So anyway, I trust that I've given you some ideas that will help you share with others. Thank you, and have a blessed day.